All right, let's dive right into this explainer and learn how you can become a modern system architect. We're officially moving way past the days of staring at blank screens, trying to remember some obscure syntax rules. We're entering an entirely new era where you literally just direct an AI to build software for you. But to do that effectively, well, you really need to understand both the machine generating the code and the specific mindset required to guide it.
So, here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering inside the AI engine, the vibe coding revolution, making your idea buildable, Canvas to advanced logic, and finally, Ajath's parallel AI agents. Let's get right into it.
Starting with Section 1, Inside the AI Engine and the Foundations of AI Code.
To actually build reliable software with AI, we first have to lift the hood and understand exactly how these models generate their responses. It's so easy to think of AI as this magic box that just sort of knows how to code, but the reality is beautifully mathematical. At its core, an AI operates on a principle called next token prediction. See, models don't read text or code like you or I do. Instead, a tokenizer breaks raw text into smaller chunks called tokens. The industry standard right now is an algorithm called byte pair encoding, which elegantly splits complex words into recognizable subunits, so turning a word like unhappy into the tokens un and happy, and then it maps those to numbers. The AI's transformer engine, which you can think of as the ultimate pattern recognition brain, reads these sequences simultaneously, maps the relationships, and mathematically predicts the absolute most probable next token based on all your preceding context.
Okay, so once the AI scores the vocabulary to predict that next token, we use a setting called temperature to control how it makes its final choice. And this is an absolutely crucial point. You want temperature set to exactly 0 for reliable code generation. A temperature of 0 triggers what's known as greedy decoding. That just means the model always picks the single highest probability token. This is essential for coding where consistency and exact syntax are paramount. Conversely, a balanced temperature around 0.7 or 0.8 allows for much more creative, diverse chat responses. Though, as a quick architect's note here, keep in mind that even at 0 temperature, minor non-determinism from parallel GPU processing can still cause tiny variations. It's kind of like two world-class chefs trying to flip a pancake at the exact same millisecond. There will always be a microscopic difference.
Moving on to Section 2, the vibe coding revolution and shifting the paradigm. Now that we know how the AI writes, let's shift our focus to how we, as humans, actually direct it, because the way we create software is undergoing a massive transformation. A fantastic quote from Google Cloud really hits the nail on the head here, pointing out that simple, natural language prompts allow anyone to describe their vision and deploy fully functioning web applications to production in minutes. This brilliantly illustrates what we call vibe coding, a completely new era where natural language completely replaces complex programming languages. We are no longer limited by how fast we can type out code, but by how clearly we can describe our vision.
This whole shift is really all about cognitive load. In traditional coding, your cognitive load is just astronomically high. You're bogged down by learning strict syntax rules, resolving messy server configuration conflicts, and just endless, tedious debugging. But by switching to vibe coding, you get to completely shed that heavy cognitive burden. The AI handles the syntax, you step up to act as the system architect and creative director, focusing entirely on the layout, the flow, and the user experience.
All right, Section 3, making your idea buildable by scoping for success.
Having an AI coding assistant is amazing, sure, but it doesn't mean every single wild idea is instantly achievable right out of the gate. We need to know how to properly scope our projects so they don't just collapse under their own weight. To evaluate if your app is achievable, you really have to look at the foundational data flow. Always start by sticking to basic CRUD operations. For those unfamiliar, CRUD stands for create, read, update, and delete. If your app idea involves users creating a profile, reading a feed of posts, updating their settings, or deleting a message, that is highly achievable for AI. Where people fail is by throwing overly complex, multi-layered features at the AI all at once. To succeed, you must be a ruthless editor. Seriously, channel your inner Gordon Ramsay in a kitchen. If the feature isn't absolutely essential for version 1, chop it. Nail those basic CRUD database operations first and build a rock-solid foundation.
Which brings us to Section 4, Canvas to advanced logic, exploring the Ajath workflow.
Let's see how this all builds into a highly practical workflow using modern platforms like Ajath.us, which actually specialize in this exact methodology. The absolute secret to a successful vibe coding workflow is ordering your steps correctly. Step 1 is designing your core visual layout on what's called an infinite canvas. Step 2 involves real-time visual tweaking, getting the look and feel exactly right in a high-fidelity design playground. It is only in Step 3, after your visual layout is totally locked in, that you begin layering on advanced business logic, dynamic data integrations, and external APIs. If you try to build complex logic before your visual foundation is set, you will confuse the AI, and honestly, you'll confuse yourself. This step-by-step discipline is quite literally what separates a failed prompt from a deployed app.
And finally, Section 5, Ajath's Parallel AI Agents, otherwise known as your development crew.
Once your scope is tightly set and your layout is ready, it's time to bring in the crew to actually build out the full-stack infrastructure of the app. And I do mean a crew. The details section inside the Ajath dashboard provides actual proof that you aren't just using one single AI, but a whole coordinated team. The platform uses up to 10 parallel agents to coordinate building the application all at once.
This entirely solves one of the biggest headaches in AI development, the sequential debugging loop. You know, when you use a standard single-chat AI bot, it really struggles to write front-end code, then jump to the back-end, and then fix the database one after another. Ajath solves this by orchestrating specialized parallel agents, specifically Maya 4, Reina, Jacob, and Matt. These agents work concurrently. Maya might be handling your front-end UI, while Reina writes the back-end, Jacob designs the database schemas, and Matt locks down secure authentication, all at the exact same time. It's rapid, iterative prototyping that flawlessly mimics a real-world engineering team.
So what does this all mean for us? Well, the traditional barriers to software creation have been completely broken down. The multi-agent architecture handles the complex coding, and zero-setup platforms provide your pre-configured databases and hosting from day one, instantly giving you a shareable URL. You are now the architect. You know how to control the AI's temperature, how to scope for basic CRUD operations to ensure success, and why you should start visually before adding complex logic. Since this platform handles all the heavy lifting and infrastructure for you, the old excuses for not building your dream app are officially gone. The tools are here, the agents are waiting, the only question left is, in a world where you can build anything just by describing it, what will you vibe code today?